Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a good day. Hope this Wednesday finds you well. It's Wednesday, right? It's not Saturday. I base the days of the week that I do know on whether or not Lady Monkey's working, and she's off today, so this is Wednesday, right? I should look instead of asking you guys. I'm being lazy here. I can't even scroll. Yeah, it's Wednesday. So Wednesday, we got day 3 of the impeachment coming up today. Are you guys excited? Is everybody like all hard and wet over this? Did you guys watch yesterday? Oh my God, so dull. They gave these people way too long to make their opening statements. The two sides get 24 hours split over 2 days, so they can take up to 12 hours a day. And I'm okay with it if that's what you need, but Jesus Christ, Schiff and Co. spent most of their day yesterday bitching that they don't have as much evidence as they need to be doing what they're doing. They said we have enough evidence. It's just we need more. We have enough. We just need more. We need these people who haven't testified and these documents. We don't know what they say. We need all this shit because our case is so good. I was like, oh shit. It's funny to me. Moon says, excitement is hardly the word I'd use. Waste of taxpayer dollars. It would be appropriate. You know what? I've told you guys before, I love watching this shit. I watch C-SPAN for fun, not just when it's, a big trial kind of thing. But even I turned this shit off. I was so bored with it. They're just repeating the same stupid shit over and over and over again. I watched a good deal of Schiff's. I watched a good deal of the one chick and a good deal of the one black gentleman. I don't know their names because that's how much I cared. Watching all 3 of them whining the same about how they don't get, have all of the evidence. It is funny to me that they keep saying this, that they keep going to that. We need more evidence. Then you shouldn't have went to trial. You don't go to trial to gather more evidence. You go to trial to present the evidence. It seems a pretty, I feel like that's kind of, if you've watched any court drama, you know that. You don't go to court to get more evidence unless you're talking about going because they won't give you evidence, but you don't go to the actual trial without the evidence. That's just sad. It's stupid. Oh, I got to tell you guys, I don't normally, bring up word for word shit that's said to me on Twitter because a lot of people say stupid shit. Elizabeth Warren was bitching about not having, all the evidence. And I was like, that's what the trial's for. They shouldn't have gone without the evidence. And a whole bunch of her supporters got mad, y'all. Whole bunch of them, including one who is trying to tell me that the Watergate tapes came about because of the Senate trial. Now, for those of you who don't understand why that's funny, there was no Senate trial. Nixon never went to trial in the fucking Senate. He resigned. Now, there was a Senate inquiry done in a committee, very much the same. There was a Mueller inquiry. These things happened. That's not a trial. That's not. Do you know how that came to be? It was because somebody testified before the Senate. Yeah, they testified before a committee in the Senate. That's not. That is not a Senate trial. It's decidedly not. There's a reason that Donald Trump is the 3rd impeached president. I'll give you a hint. The first ones were, was it Johnson? Johnson Jackson? I forget that guy's name. I always confuse the two, whether it's Jack. I want to say it's Johnson. Johnson and then Clinton, and now Trump is the 3rd because Richard Nixon was never impeached, you stupid fucks. But this person was so desperate to prove me wrong, to show me up. hang on. Let me bring this up. When I get DMs, if you haven't DM'd me before, it goes into a special little box that I can see what you said, and I can look at pictures that you've sent and stuff. And until I respond to you, it stays over there. This person jumped into my DMs to say this. Why did you stop responding after you were proven wrong? Ha 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 ha. Can't take your L, knuckle dragger. I can't take my L about about the Watergate tapes not coming out during the trial. I was all kinds of like, oh, hell yeah, I'll do this. I'll be happy to go respond to this. Because I actually know my history, you stupid shitbags. But yeah, that's where we are, guys. We're at the impeachment trial. We'll have day 2, I believe, of Schiff and Co. whining that they don't have enough evidence. It got to the point yesterday. I was honestly like, are you guys going to present any evidence you do have? Because you're saying that you have all this evidence and you have corroborating evidence for it. Then just present that. You don't need the rest. Thank you, Cryptic, who says Bloodwing was around when Johnson was impeached. Yeah, it was a long time ago. And Blood, you are kind of old. I don't know if you're that old, though. He's getting there. But thank you so much for the donation. Senate adopts the ground rules for the trial, you guys, delaying a decision on witnesses. So the Democrats were very mad yesterday because McConnell announced the rules for the impeachment. It's going to be a very quick trial. Each side gets 24 hours to present their case over 2 days. And then the senators can ask questions in written form, which will be passed on to Justice Roberts. They will get those questions, and then they're going to, if need be, vote for witnesses. So nobody's actually voted not to have witnesses yet. It's just they tabled that. Like, we'll come back to that later if we need to. So there'll probably be another vote for witnesses at the end of the question period. And when they vote for no witnesses, it'll be over. They'll just have to do a count. And there's no goddamn way they're going to get 67 votes in the Senate to remove Donald Trump. They're just not going to. So, yeah, that's where we stand, you guys. And this is the biggest story of the moment. The biggest story of the moment is that shit we've been talking about now since September hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is where it's happening. The Chief Justice admonishes impeachment lawyers, telling them to remember where they are. Chief Justice John Roberts Jr. delivered a sharp rebuke to both House managers and lawyers for President Trump for their decorum as the impeachment trial debate passed 1 a.m. Wednesday, a marathon session that turned heated between the legal teams. After I think it's appropriate at this point for me to admonish both the House managers and President's counsel in equal terms to remember that they are addressing the world's greatest deliberative body. Nadler delivered an extended statement attacking the president and calling on the Senate to subpoena testimony from, to get more testimony. We need more testimony. How about this? Seriously. What? Honk is gone? What are you guys talking about? I see Honk. Anyway, their whole case is we need more evidence. Anyway, what else do we got going on? I don't want to talk too much about it because it's boring. It's boring and we know it all. Thank you, Cryptic. Adam Schiff still looks like a dildo with googly eyes. He looks like an actual penis with googly eyes, but I get what you mean there. I get what you mean. I was hoping something else would be going on in the world. And Shio, thank you so much. So now that I'm actually at the airport, What were those keywords to get some sexual favors? Oh, you want to say things like bomb and hi, Jack. Those will always get you a lot of extra gropings at the airport. Careful, some of them are rather forceful. Oh God. The Senate trial debate. Man, it's all the stupid thing and doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let me ask you something in chat. Whether or not, I don't want to know if you're voting for Trump or against Trump. If Trump is convicted, or sorry, not convicted, because Trump was impeached, did it change how you will be voting in the election? Did it change how it'll be voting? And if it is going to change how you're going to be voting, so give me a 1 for it's going to change how you're voting. And if you vote 1, give me a 3 for you're now going to vote for Trump and a 4 for now you're not going to vote for Trump. There we go. I just don't think it's changing too many people's minds. And I don't think part of the argument I got into yesterday, I mean, spelled it out exactly. It's like, why don't you guys wait? And this one guy argued me, what, did you want them to wait till after the election? You mean like wait until it was actually ready? Wait until you actually had your full case? Yeah, that's what I want you to do. Whether it was before or after the election, you should have waited. The once the tapes were subpoenaed from Richard Nixon, it took like 3 months, 4 months, I think it was, to get the tapes for the Supreme Court to go, yeah, you have to turn those over. That's it. Once they actually took it to court, like, yeah, give me my shit. But they had to get it done now. Got to get it done now. And you know what? This isn't just to make Trump look bad. It's also to get this out of the public eye so that the House wasn't looking bad, because the House was dragging their feet on this. They even though they were there, it's a weird thing where they were rushing it but dragging their feet at the same time. And they didn't want to be seen as extending it too long, because that tends to make them look bad if they don't find anything. That's another reason they didn't want to wait for trial. That's why they didn't want to wait for trial. What if this stuff comes out? What if they find the documents that they're requesting and Mulvaney has to come testify and it's all shit we know? What if there's nothing new there? Well, then they'd have had egg all over their face. Now, this way, if the Senate requests it and the Senate demands it and it comes out to be nothing, it was like, oh, well, no big deal. It was the Senate who was making it go so long. And did you see how they drug it out during the primary, you guys? They're so fucking transparent. So fucking transparent. Hey, Blood, let me know if you want to come hang out if you can, bud. You and I haven't got to talk. The last several links you've sent me, I've been asleep, my friend. Debating the rules of the impeachment trial, that's the same thing you said earlier. All right, we're going to the New York Post because I like them better. They tend to switch up their news. They're a better news source, in my opinion. Making a point to vote this time, I believe we're going to need all the help. There was an interesting video out yesterday, day before. I don't remember when it came out, but talking about how Silicon Valley has the ability to affect up to 15 million voters. Well, specifically 15 million votes is what it said. And this was Ted Cruz was on, I want to say some Fox program, but don't quote me on that. I can't remember the lady. I've seen her before. She kind of looks like a puppet, like an old wrinkly puppet, the Sesame Street variety. Like if you took Ernie from Bert and Ernie and put on some glasses and a little bit more hair and wrinkled the fuck out of it. I forget her name. But he was talking about this. And it's one of those things that's like, oh, that sounds like a conspiracy theory. But I want you guys to think about this. For the last 3 years, all we've heard is about how how much influence the Russians were able to get through social media. And if you believe that to be true, if you believe that the Russians influenced our election in any kind of major way, they did it through social media, which shows that social media itself is easily manipulated. So if the big tech companies that are in charge of the social media, who quite obviously lean one way, Google, right, Google? We all saw the video after Trump won. We know which way you lean. If they're the ones that are in charge of it and they have sole control over it, and they get to see what algorithmic changes are being made and who's being pushed to what, curious, isn't it? What could they possibly do with that kind of power? Now, frankly, I don't think the Russians had that much of an influence. I got to be honest with you. I really don't. But they certainly think that social media can influence that way. And they've certainly gone out of their way to limit what you might hear, limit what you might be exposed to out here on the interwebs. Because you can't look, if a candidate says something, they want it, so it has to be fact checked by Snopes before it's allowed to be said. They all got so pissed off over Donald Trump lied. He lied about Joseph Biden. Did he? Did he really? Was that commercial really a lie? You have no problem with Joseph Biden's commercial where he flat out fucking lies, claiming that Trump said that there were good racists out there. Yeah, because he pulled that same line in his announcement. In his announcement, he's like, yeah, that Trump said that there were good people on both sides in Charlottesville and that he liked them white supremacists. It's not at all true. It's not what he said. That's been disproven so many times that it's fucking retarded. We have to even talk about it again. But there's nobody out there saying that Joe Biden's information should come down, that campaign announcement should be removed from the internet, which, by the way, was used in commercials. That those commercials shouldn't be allowed on social media because Joe Biden's fucking lying. But don't worry, guys. They just want to make sure that we have a fair and honest election. I almost made it through that without laughing. They just want to make sure everything's on the up and up. Fucking liars. Fucking liars. But they're really worried about it, man. They are really worried about the Russian interference and the, they're not worried at all about Chinese interference. Excuse me, Chinese interference. That's interesting to me. Because as far as I know, don't the Chinese have a pretty good hacking core out there? Don't we know that they've been involved in stuff before? But apparently they don't meddle, so they're not the meddlesome Chinese. It's the meddlesome Russians. Good morning, Scribbles. Hope you're well, my friend. Yeah. So they're going to try to use the power of the social media to influence things. I'm shocked. I got to say, I'm horrifically shocked that this is a thing. Russia interfered by posting ads on Facebook. I know, right, Foxy? They bought some ads, which, by the way, they rarely talk about this. But according to the sources, the Russians' goal was just to cause chaos. Now, there is a couple of people who've apparently been quoted saying, well, we hope Trump wins. But they ran campaigns for both Trump and Hillary, both liberal and conservative causes. But we don't hear about that because we gotta make sure you guys know the Ruskies are the only reason that Trump is president. How you doing, Bloodwing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How you?
Oh, the longer I'm awake talking about news, the more annoyed I get. But otherwise, I'm well.
I hear that. No. I've already been out and done my duty. Took the kids to school. And
oh, how's the weather down there?
Cold as heck. I had to stop 3 times to scrape my window just before, even before I got out of my neighborhood.
Wow.
It's cold.
We're cold. We're not quite that cold, and we don't have the ice right now. So
Wish
I
we
hate
could.
ice storms.
And you're north of me. This makes no sense. You know.
Well, Satan lives in Canada. I'm sure that's where hell is. Sorry, Canadians. I think he lives up where even you guys won't go. This whole notion that once hell freezes over, it's already froze.
Yeah.
It's already froze. Foxy says colder than a witch's tit. My father was fond of colder than a witch's tit in a brass bra in January.
Yep.
He took it to the extreme on that one. Terry Jones, founding member of Monty Python, is dead at 77.
Yeah, I saw
That
that.
sucks. That sucks. Yeah, so he had to die, and I was about to say, and some people get to live, and I was going to name them. That's not nice. Oops. Oops.
Oops.
Gotta be careful. I don't want to.
I think it leaves what, 3 of them left, maybe 4.
Let's see if the article actually says. They've lost a few.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not seeing how many are left. But yeah, he's survived by some people. Yeah, 77 is not a bad age to make it to.
No.
I won't complain if I make it that long.
No, that gives me another 17 years. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, it gives me some time. And now it's still sad because he is a funny man, and we need more humor in our lives. Pincalo says there's only 2 are gone. And 3 are left: Terry Gilliam, John Cleese, and Eric Idle.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought there were 4.
Yeah, I don't follow Python that closely. I loved anytime I would see a get together. I liked watching them just talk.
Oh yeah.
There's a great, I think it was HBO did a show with them one time, and they were just talking, and I can't remember if they did clips during the show or not, but just these guys talking with each other, making each other laugh, telling stories that we never got to hear as the public.
Yeah. Oh,
that's the shit that I liked.
Anytime I see Monty Python in the title, I'm down. I'll watch it. We're a huge fan. My whole family, except for my wife, she hates them.
I don't hate them. They're just a little too British for me.
Oh, around here, and especially if we watch The Holy Grail, which we'll do once or twice a year. But you know, J Kid, my kids, and I, we'll all get together and we'll watch it, and we do it like, you know, we'll say every line. We'll sit here, have a few drinks, and talk. You know, we'll switch off doing the lines. So that's just.
Gotcha. No, I liked it. I thought it was funny, but I'm more of an Airplane guy than a Monty Python guy.
Right.
But again, like there's stories that they're. My favorite one, I've probably said this on air 15 times now, but they were over in Europe doing a tour, and they talked about going to Germany. He said they had to teach the Germans what humor was. And they said they went to Dachau, and it was closed. And I forget which one of it is, but he screams, "Tell them we're Jewish."
Oh, Lord.
Like, oh my. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pushing the envelope a little there.
Still funny. Funny.
Absolutely.
Foxy tells us Michael Bloomberg is running his mouth right now saying only law enforcement should carry firearms. Yeah, Michael Bloomberg needs to just shut the fuck up. What did I think about Airplane 2 and 3? I didn't know there was a 3. Airplane 2 was okay. It wasn't as good as the original, but it was still funny. I used to watch it quite often when I was younger.
Yeah, don't call me Shirley.
Now, if you're talking about The Naked Gun 1, 2, and 3, which is actually, what is it? 1, 2.5, and 33 and a third. 33 and a third is never worth watching. Don't watch it, even if you get it for free. And 1 and 2, 1 is the best, and then 2. Anytime they try to do a follow-up for those, there's just like not so many Not so many jokes left to make. And Backscan says, wasn't 3 the one where they go into space? No, that's 2.
Yeah.
2 is the space shuttle that it gets pointed towards the moon. Sorry, going to the moon, pointed towards the sun.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was during a period, or the tail end of a period, where there's a lot of movies like that. Shoot, there were some old school movies like I don't know if you remember Kentucky Fried Movie.
I love the Kentucky Fried Movie.
Oh yeah, and
it's got my favorite skit ever.
Yeah, it had a lot of good ones in it. I get it and Groove Tube mixed up sometimes on which skit was where, but
I used to get it mixed up with Amazon Women on the Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Because those two used to play, I want to say it was Cinemax. One of those used to play those at night. And they would play both of them. Or maybe it was USA Today. Or USA Today. USA Channel. They would interchange them. So like one day, if you'd only catch part of one, the next day you'd catch part of another. They could have been the same movie, except for what was playing in between.
Right.
If you guys don't know what we're talking about here, look them up. Kentucky Fried Movie is fucking well worth it. It's from the guys who made Naked Gun and Airplane. It's fucking ridiculous, but it's awesome. It's funny as hell.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What was that other one you mentioned?
Groove Tube, come out about the same time. It was the same type of movie. Just
Never
a lot
seen
of
it.
Just a lot of skits put together over the top.
No, there was a commercial that was on TV back then, and I remember the commercial still to this day. It was for an air freshener, and this lady was hosting some party, and as each of her friends came in, they would say something negative like, "Oh, fish for dinner last night," and the next one, "Oh, is Harvey still smoking those horrible cigars?"
Yep.
And in the Kentucky Fried Movie, they take both of those, and then the third one is a woman walks in and goes, "Did a cow shit in here?"
Yeah.
And it is so dumb. It is so juvenile, but that is my favorite skit ever because it's played so straight.
Oh,
look it up, guys.
If you go in watching Kentucky Fried Movie and expect highbrow humor, you're not going to find it. This is all sophomoric, go for the quick laugh stuff.
Yeah, it's awesome if you like that kind of humor. Kentucky Fried Movie is fantastic, a bit raunchy but hilarious. Another one that doesn't get as much credit as I think it deserves. The people who like it love it, and it's Top Secret.
I was just trying to remember the name of that. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, there was a spy movie. What was it?
Val Kilmer. Yeah, it was fucking awesome. Made by the same guys who made Airplane.
Yeah, actually seen that at the drive-in.
Really? That's a long time ago, dude.
Yeah. Well, like you mentioned earlier, I am old.
I didn't get to see that one until I was in my teens. I rented it from the store one day because it was from the guys who did the other ones. Oh, well, fuck, I got to watch this. And the first time I watched it, I didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
And it's like, it came on again. I'm like, all right, I'm going to give this another chance. And I laughed my ass off. Now there's the cow scene. I'm not going to ruin it, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Which of course made me laugh the first time, but for the rest of it I don't want to say it's intelligent humor, but it's not quite as punch you in the crotch funny as Airplane stuff is. Because like Airplane, you have the Jewish airliner come in and it's dressed up like a Jew. That's just funny. It's immediately funny.
Yep.
Top Secret was on Super Channel as a kid on a free weekend. Cool. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Jaeger Pony says, we still have a drive-in here in town. We do too. One. There used to be one. You couldn't throw a rock in any direction without hitting a drive-in theater, but we've got one left.
Peter says Naked Gun 1 was mostly gags from Police Squad repurposed. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Naked Gun is actually based on the TV show Police Squad. And almost all of the jokes that are in Naked Gun are in Police Squad.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I have a set that has all 3 movies and because I think there was only like 8 or 9 episodes of that. It didn't last very long.
No, unfortunately it didn't.
Well, again, there's only so many things you can do.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Of course, that was during the period TV got a little experimental. I can't remember the name of it, but there was a cop show that was a freaking song and dance show. It was a musical cop show.
Cop Rock.
Cop Rock. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm like, really?
Yep, that's one that didn't last very long.
No.
I miss when they used to do that, and I don't think you'll ever see that again unless it's coming from like Netflix or something.
Right.
You're not going to see too many experimental shows because, well, one, you don't have just the 3 networks anymore. That made it a lot easier to do because you could, okay, we'll try this, and if it's a hit, it's a hit. Rewatched all 3 Naked Gun movies recently. Oh, damn, you watched the 3rd one? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I hope somehow you get that part of your life back.
Yeah, but
okay, but
as I recall, I was talking about seeing Top Secret. I seen it was a triple feature. It was Up in Smoke, Naked or not Naked Gun, Up in Smoke, Kentucky Fried Movie, and Top Secret.
Oh wow!
And of course, I was chemically enhanced at the time, but enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, I never did pot. Let's see. Well, I've done it a couple of times in my life, but never seriously. And so I never got Cheech and Chong movies, which I'm fairly certain you have to be high to enjoy.
Yeah.
At least the first time.
Yes.
But okay, let's get back to why I drank before I was 21. That's trending right now.
Why?
Because kids do stupid shit. We do what we're told not to.
Exactly.
Adam Schiff Rocks is trending. Oh, dear Lord. Oh, God.
Are they blind?
Well, it's funny because it's trending number 5 with only 10,000 tweets when number 6 has 29,000 tweets. I feel like that might be a little bit curated.
You think?
Just gonna throw that out there. This is what I was talking about just as you were coming in. The ability for these Silicon Valley companies to try to influence us. Right now, like, oh, look, so many people think he rocks. No, they don't.
No.
You have what about Loaded Weapon or what Loaded Weapon 1? Loaded Weapon is the one I didn't much care for, but then Hot Shots was good. Loaded Weapon, they just tried too hard, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And that happens sometimes. But anyway, our social media overlords, they have the ability, and we know they do this, to curate what we're seeing and make it seem as though it's natural. This is what is on everybody's mind. Don't you want to be like everyone else?
How about no?
Well, Blood, I'm with you on that. I don't give 2 shits about being like everyone else. I never have.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed that in my life, but I've also noticed that most other people seem to.
Yeah.
Most other people seem to want to be part of the crowd, want to be part of it. It's why they get so upset if you insult something they like. Like if I go, I think Led Zeppelin sucked. And they're like, wait, that's what the crowd told me I'm supposed to like. And I know some people like it just because they do. If you were high in the 70s, I think it was required.
Well, I was, and I do, but
see. No, but if you insult something, I just use Led Zeppelin because I know you're a fan. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
And I'm not. I'm not a fan. And growing up in my high school, I'd be like Led Zeppelin, and we're growing up in the late 80s and 90s. I'm like, I don't like any of this.
Sometimes on my stream we get into music conversations about classic rock and stuff, and Alex has gotten nervous before. He's just like, people get mad about their music. I said, oh, screw it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's all good.
Well, it tends to bring out this pack mentality in people.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's okay not to be part of. I'm okay over here being not liking Zeppelin. I'll listen to All About That Bass instead, and we'll both be fine. Yeah. Thank you. Who says, who is this Led Zeppelin? They hang out with 4chan a lot. Thank you for laughing at that. I wasn't sure that joke was going to land. Look, sometimes I know they're good, and sometimes I'm a little nervous when I say it.
Yeah.
Amy Siskind is saying, lest we forget 176 people are dead in a plane crash. That was one of the unintended consequences of the escalation, talking, of course, about Iran.
Oh.
Yes, they died because it wasn't unintended. Now, whether or not you believe, like I do, that they shot down that plane specifically on purpose, or that you just believe they shot down a plane on purpose, they fired the missile on purpose.
It seems like I saw some footage. Now, I don't know how believable it was, but I saw some footage where there was actually 2 missiles fired. So it wasn't like I fired one and let, oops.
Oh, she's already deleted. Oh, she's remade it. She's remade it. This is just plain awful and international embarrassment. Oh, Trump took some questions at Davos for him. I'll have to watch that later.
Yeah.
Have you seen them whining that he hasn't had a press conference, that the White House hasn't had a press conference?
No,
the White House hasn't had a press conference in, 320 days or whatever it's up to now. Like, President Trump talks to you guys all the time. Stop it. You get it straight from the ass's mouth.
You'd think you'd get tired of being told to shut up, but he does talk to you all the time.
Oh my God. Did you see when he did that to Acosta the other day?
Yeah.
So President Trump is in the Oval Office. He's talking about something that he's just done. He's in the middle of talking, and dipshit Jim Acosta from CNN starts talking over him. And Trump just goes, quiet, which shuts him up. It was funny as shit, just quiet, and then went right back into what he was saying.
Which is what most of us would do. Like, can I talk here?
Like, shut up. Stop acting like a child. But Jim Acosta, he responded to, I think, Sean Hannity. Sean Hannity had put a story up about it. That or it was, I want to say it was Hannity. Anyway, Acosta responds, he can be hard to handle when he's being challenged. You should try it sometime. Like, no, you got shushed because you were acting like a child.
Right.
It wasn't, he didn't tell you to quiet because during your question time, you asked him an uncomfortable question.
No.
You yelled out in the middle of him speaking, you dick.
You broke basic decorum and just.
But no, he's the victim.
Yeah, he ought to be thankful it wasn't Scribe.
Cryptic, thank you so much. It was 2 surface-to-air missiles 6 seconds apart. Yeah, I'm surprised it was only 2.
Yeah.
I love their excuse that if we thought it was a cruise missile, then you did not fire surface-to-air missiles at it. No, you didn't. Bullshit. Because there ain't no way in hell you thought your Russian-based anti-aircraft battery was going to take down a fucking ballistic missile. Stop it.
But it's going to start World War III, yo.
Yeah. That was the shortest World War we've ever had. I can't wait for World War IV.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, I did take my meds, and yes, I did send out invitations. Remember, most of the people I invite are usually up in the middle of the night, and we're not in the middle of the night right now.
No, I can actually catch this one. I was like, what? I just come in from taking my grandkids to school, and I cruising through Twitter which I usually do first thing in the morning. And then I've got the notification. I'm like, oh, that's got to be old. That's got to be a late notification. So I flipped over. Nope, he's really streaming now.
Yeah, I was tired last night after my game stream, so I just went to sleep. And Lady Monkey has today off, so I was hoping I could get enough sleep to go out. We got to go grocery shopping today.
Yeah.
The kids are coming over tonight for dinner, so I wanted to try to be up at normal people times. Speaking of Jimmy Acosta, he was upset because yesterday he tried to get Ivanka Trump to talk about her father's impeachment. I thought you were the White House correspondent. Why are you following her around?
Yeah.
You're the senior White House correspondent. But anyway, I didn't want to get too far away from Jim because old Jim, he's got this real knack of making himself the story.
Yeah.
No, James, you don't have to apologize. I appreciate you reminding me, but no, I did. I did everything right this morning. I know that's surprising, but yeah, I did. But yeah, Jim has this real knack of it. And the funny part is the people that work with him, the other CNN correspondents, they treat him like he's reporter Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
They really do. They talk about how abused he is by the White House. Like, because Donald Trump told you to quiet when you were talking over him. I want to reiterate that point. It wasn't even like it was Jim's question and he got upset because what Jim was asking. He was literally in the middle of talking.
Right.
Oh, that poor man. Donald Trump told him to shush. Told him to quiet. It was funny. That was awesome. Bernie Sanders to charter a private jet to campaign in Iowa during impeachment trial. Yep. We've talked about this too.
Yeah, that's good for the environment and socialism. Sure.
Well, these senators are required to be at the trial.
Mm-hmm.
But three of them, all three who were on the stage the other day, are all campaigning still.
Yep.
So they have to get on the ground in Iowa and be at the impeachment trial. And it's hard to do both. Now, unlike a sequestered jury somewhere, it's not like they have to be there all the time.
Right.
But when they're called, they have to be there. So however long it took yesterday, like would they go until 1 o'clock in the morning? Dear Lord. That's a whole lot of boring.
Yeah.
But apparently Bernie Sanders is going to charter a private jet to be campaigning in Iowa during this, because we don't have to care about the environment when we're trying to get elected.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fuck Greta when you're trying to get elected.
Yeah. It's excusable. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw his story. It was from, I don't remember where it was from, but I saw it from the lovely Sugar Tits.
Mm-hmm.
It said that Donald Trump was encouraging companies to not worry too much about global warming. I'm paraphrasing, guys, but not to worry too much while Greta was there.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the funniest part of that.
I've seen your response.
Go ahead.
I've seen your response. Yeah, the funniest part is that people even care there was a teenager in the crowd.
Yeah, who gives a fuck that Greta was there? Here's the exact thing. As Greta watched on, Trump told world leaders to cheer up about climate change. So, who cares? Who cares that Greta was there? We're not talking about, okay, I don't like the man, but at least if Michael Mann was there, at least be, oh, that's a climate scientist. You're talking about a little girl.
Mm-hmm. Who doesn't even write her own speeches, I'm sure.
Check the super chats, called it Pelosi is trying to hurt Bernie. Well, that's the thing, a three-sided coin. With their original time frame, this wouldn't have been an issue because they had originally said they wanted to be done by Halloween in the House. And if they'd done that, then the Senate trial would be over by now. Nobody be paying attention to it. But I also think it did seem like the House was kind of dragging it out a little bit. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Greta got busted on Facebook. Her dad was writing most of her comments. Yeah. And then they tried to lie about it. John Ward has a great video on that. And he showed a clip of Greta I had never seen before. Greta was asked what she would say to world leaders, what she thought they needed to know or something to that effect. And she just goes, I'm going to let one of the other people answer. And nobody else wants to answer. And so she goes, I think you guys should ask questions of the others. That was her answer. That's a pretty easy question. Yeah. That's not one you even need to prep her very hard for. That's like the core of your argument, lady.
Yeah. Real quick, Deck Train knows she's not anymore. She had a little daughter just very recently. talk about sugar tits being pregnant.
Three-sided coin says, "Oh, I'll go one step further. Supposedly, this is an incredibly dangerous president, and we can't wait." Yeah, then why did you hold the articles for 3 weeks? Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that point. I hadn't even thought of. Yeah, she drug it out even further, and we talked about this, about how it was going to hurt the people at the time, including Cory, because Cory Booker is also a senator. So at the time she was holding this shit, there were 4 senators, and three-sided coin. I guess I can see you saying that it was done to hurt Bernie, but I would say it was done to hurt all of them who aren't Biden.
Yeah.
Because Biden is their clear choice. 3 weeks, it was 32 days. Okay, 2.5 weeks, close enough. Because what, 3 weeks is 36 days? Something like, no, 21 days. Oh my God, Frank. So we're talking 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks. Fuck, man, I'm not quite awake. That's my excuse.
I wish I'd use that excuse. I don't do math.
I was thinking months. Ex-Boba Hotep, thank you. Random question. Do you have any opinions on right to repair legislation for electronics like phones, tablets, MacBooks, etc.? I don't like the way companies do things where you can't fix things yourself. You know, like if you can come across the components. It's why I build PCs myself.
Yeah.
It's why I don't like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's why I've switched. I don't know if you know. I know you knew I was getting a laptop from Hammer, which I did. But I got an opportunity to get a mid-range gaming computer for cheap, refurbished. And so I jumped on it. And that's why, so I can work on it myself, because laptops are so not upgradable.
Yeah, like I was going to say, I don't like laptops for that reason. I don't like any Apple products for that reason. I'm not a big fan of the fact that I can't fix my phone if need be. Daryl, thank you so much. He says, breaking news, Monty Python's Terry Jones died. Yes, we spoke about that early, and rest in peace, sir.
But, a lot of the people out there know that I spent several years as a mechanic, and geez, I can't even hardly work on them anymore because the cars are that way. They're just making them where they can't be worked on, so.
Well, yeah, they've gone so computer. I mean, and well, let's be honest. I mean, most of us couldn't do it anyway, but for those who could, yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Rossman Repair Group, MacBook repair, New York City. Yeah, this is going to be a little too hard for me to try to read and catch up on during the stream, but Louis Anthony Rossman is an American independent repair technician, YouTube personality, and right to repair advocate. He is the owner of and operator of Rossman Repair Group in New York City, a computer repair shop, blah, blah, blah. He rose to popularity showing his repairs as educational sources, frequently live streaming repairs on both Twitch TV and Vimeo. I'm saying Vimeo.
I'll be right back. I think my wife's trying to get in the back door and she can't get it open because it gets stuck. I'll be right back.
Well, stop laughing at her and go help her. On June 5th, Rossman posted a video on YouTube where he appeared as a key witness in a Norwegian court case in which Apple had sued a Norwegian repair shop in an effort to stop them from repairing Apple products. Yeah, that's nonsense. How do I feel about it? Yeah, like I said, I don't like companies that do that shit. If you think that's bad, look up Tesla. Did I tell you about quitting my job to go back to my first love, opening in a custom car shop, building classic cars and resto mixing them and converting them to EV? No, you didn't. Did you already do that, or is that something you're thinking about, three-sided? Because you're stepping away from a good job there, aren't you? consoles are usually one generation behind PCs. It depends. Depends on the PC and the console. When the latest generation came out, they were close to PCs, close enough, but they fell behind rapidly. It fell behind very rapidly because you can't change any of that shit out. And there's something to be said for things like that, I suppose. You send it into Apple and then you know it's actually fixed by Apple. Not to say that Apple is necessarily going to fix it properly. How about that? No way, they were not near close to PCs. Again, if you're talking the absolute top of the line, bleeding edge, sure. But most people don't use those, so Apple doesn't fix, they replace. Don't they refurbish some of their stuff though? Oh, maybe they don't because they got to send it over to those poor little Asian kids making 3 cents an hour. It's probably more expensive to send it over there. Either way, I have no problem with people being able to fix their own stuff, and companies that try to sue people for getting it fixed by an outside technician or trying to get the technician shut down in this case can go fuck themselves. Yeah, just go fuck yourself. But Apple does things like send programs to your phone to purposefully kill your battery. So, not real. The current Apple sabotages their older products. Exactly, John. They're horrible. They're horrible.
Yeah, I don't get the whole Apple thing. I never have. I wouldn't own an Apple product if you paid me.
I'm not a fan of Apple, and I haven't liked them going back to the days when they would call a computer IBM compatible, which that's just because nobody knew that Windows was what made it IBM compatible.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the original computer argument, whether it was IBM compatible or an Apple. And I did not like the fact that Apple was so proprietary. If I can build my own fucking computer and fix it and change it and upgrade it, let me do it.
Exactly.
Look up farm equipment. Farmers can't work on their own equipment because the dealership has to come out with computers just to tell you a sensor went bad. John Deere will not sell farmers the software. Yeah. We did a story on that. Probably more than a year ago now on Lords of the Night, where there were farmers complaining about that. And I say, fuck it. Go find an old tractor.
Yep.
Do it that way. But it's also, I'm also not a fan of most software licenses. Because when you buy a game, even if you manage to find a fucking disc with the game on it, which is very hard to do these days.
Yep.
You don't own that game. You are buying the right to play that game as long as the company doesn't get mad at you.
Yep.
Which is crap. It's also why I hate the new consoles, because you buy the game, but in all my experience, every game I've ever gotten, you still have to go download the fucking game off the internet. You don't own the game. You don't have the game there.
And I miss that. I'd rather have a hard copy on hand because you never know what's going to happen. I get it. It's convenient, sort of, but yeah, you got to go download it. And no, give me a hard copy. Send me a disc.
I miss the days of plugging a cartridge in and just playing. Yeah. It's like, but this way we can update it. Well, does it work? Yeah. Well, then don't update it. I'm fine.
If you'd make sure your product was in good shape before you shipped it, you wouldn't have to.
I'm sorry. I'd asked you a question, Three-Sided, and in the process of unwinding my book of business right now, will take 6 months. Oh, gotcha. Okay. He's changing careers, bud. Yeah. Nissan locks down every. So this is how it relates. For instance, my first project is a 1973 Triumph TR6 that I'm retrofitting a Nissan Leaf powertrain into. I'm having to reverse engineer the whole PCM.
Oh, good luck.
You said a whole lot of things in there. I don't know.
I followed him. I followed him as an ex-mechanic.
I know what a powertrain is. I know what a Nissan is. I know what retrofitting is. And I know what reverse engineering is. That's what I understood. And now I get what you're saying. You're changing one car into another using the powertrain, and you're having to reverse engineer it to make it work. But it's like the other day, Blood, somebody asked, or somebody mentioned that they wish they'd seen more of certain kind of guns at the Virginia gun rally. And it's like, I don't know what those things are. I had no idea because I'm not a gun guy. I'm not a car guy.
All right.
I'm a computer guy. Yep, you install the games onto the system, then the console reads the disc every so often for validation. Yeah, and I don't like that. And the games are huge, and the hard drives they come with standard are crap. So you have to go out and buy a bigger one. It's nonsense. Like, no, we had to charge $500 for this piece of shit. You can buy a 1 terabyte hard drive cheap as fuck, but they can't figure out how to put one into the system to start with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Griselle says,
check terabyte. I said tetrabyte.
Yeah, it says to check my Streamlabs. Oh, thanks, Chris. Here's for some lubricant so your wife can get in the back door easier.
There you go.
Actually, landlord's coming over today to put in some new door locks to help us get it open.
3-sided coin says no love for an English car. It's not. I'm just not a car guy. The only car that I've ever been interested in that is my dream car is I want an original 65 Mustang. I just think it's such a beautiful car. I love the way it looks. If I ever get rich, I'm going to have one of those. But here's the thing. Somebody else is going to restore it for me because I'm not the car guy.
All right.
And, I think this is great, Blood, because we've talked about this on the show a few times, people not being able to do anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be able to do everything.
No.
Come to me if you need your PC fixed. I can do that. And then I take my car to somebody if I need that fixed. It works out well. It's almost like there's a community that people can do specific things.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Functional says 65 is nice. I'll take the 67 and we'll race. 64 and a half says Duck Dog. Yeah, that's the original, the first. That's when they were actually released.
Yeah. Wow.
I know a little bit about Mustangs, just a tiny, tiny bit. Enough to, I fell in love with the car. There was this asshole in high school who had one and I hated him. I hated the prick. I actually spit gum into his car one day. I feel bad about that.
No, you don't.
But he was a fucking prick. And his daddy bought him the 65 Mustang. I'm like, that is so unfair. So unfair. 64 Impala. Wasn't the 64 Impala like really long? I'm not a big fan of long cars.
It was. I had a 66. Really loved that car. Really loved it.
A friend of ours had one. I can't remember what year. It was late 60s, early 70s ish. And it was this eggshell blue piece of crap. This car was so bad. If you did not unhook the battery, it would turn itself on. Yeah. His key was literally a screwdriver.
This is almost as bad as a buddy of mine had an old, I forget what year, but it was a really old Volkswagen Carmen Ghia, if you know what that is. And to start that car, you had to jack up the back and spin the rear wheel by hand to get it to start.
Nice. Let's see. Ex-Bubba Hotep, thank you so much. When I said they replace rather than fix, let's say a resistor blew, some companies named after a fruit will charge you for the replacement for an entire motherboard instead of replacing the $2 resistor. I'm not shocked about that. But these are cell phone companies that'll sell you an insurance plan that makes it so that you only have to pay half as much when you don't break their phone. And they're like, nah, man, that was you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fucking assholes. Phone companies are dicks in general. But what are we going to do? Where are the options,
Yeah. My phone's really cheap. There's a company here. I don't know if they have it up there, but they're spreading pretty fast called Metro PCS. And so we get a really cheap phone for a really cheap price, and it is what it is. Because I'm not a millennial. I'm not on my phone 24/7. I have this fight with my boss all the time because she wants to tweet me things, even when I'm on shift, and she tweets me. I'm like, don't send me text messages and tweets. Just call me because I'm not gonna look.
Well, you have a better chance of getting me by calling me, but I get a lot of spam calls. Once or twice a day sometimes. So I'll get to the point where I don't even pay attention to it. But I have my very, very smartphone. It's probably the one thing that I spend too much money on would be my phones, but I get them for the cameras. All of my pictures of Little Butt and Pumpkin and Peanut are on here.
Yeah.
So I have a really nice phone with a really nice camera that can take video, good pictures. And I should just use my really nice camera, but it's so much easier to lug around the little handheld. I got a spam call 5 minutes ago. Occasionally I'll answer them and just cuss at them.
Yeah. I wished I only got 2 a day. I get much more than that a day. And I have to at least answer them because, my dad is in a home. And
oh, sure.
And so I don't know all the phone numbers from that place. And it could be a call for dad. So I got to at least call to, answer it to see. Oh, God. And now I'm starting to get these ones that I answer and it's all in Spanish. Like,
oh,
no, I don't speak Spanish. Sorry. Click.
just speak Spanglish at them. I don't understand you.
Homie. Holmes.
Let's see. According to NBC News, this just came out moments ago at 911 today. Tulsi Gabbard sues Hillary Clinton for defamation over Russian asset remark. Democratic presidential candidate Tulsi Gabbard filed a defamation suit Wednesday against Hillary Clinton, claiming the former Democratic presidential nominees carelessly and recklessly impunged her reputation when she suggested in October that one of the 2020 Democrat candidates is the favorite of the Russians. There's been so much said about this, and they're saying, no, she wasn't saying there are some Democrats. She wasn't saying that Tulsi is the Russian asset. She was suggesting that Tulsi worked for the Republicans. I was like, you fucking morons. That doesn't help. Yes, she absolutely did. And her, the Clinton spokesperson actually said, I forget the exact words. It's what's the little, is it the Russian hat? She said, or he said, I can't remember. But if it fits, if the shoe fits is basically what they were saying. Because somebody asked him, was she talking about Tulsi Gabbard in this spoken? Well, if the shoe fits. Yeah.
If it doesn't fit, you must quit.
Right. I don't know if she'll win because public figures and all, but Hillary did say this pretty, what's the word? Definitively, succinctly. There was no ambiguity about whether this person was a Russian asset. It was, they're a Russian asset. So she deserves to win. Whether or not she will, it'll probably be thrown out because they're public figures.
Right.
UN experts' information suggests Jeff Bezos' phone was hacked after receiving a file from Saudi Crown Prince WhatsApp account. Or WhatsApp account. I always say what's up because WhatsApp sounds stupid.
Yeah.
Oh man, so many different things coming in at me at once. Sorry here, guys. Tulsi Gabbard is a conformist. Tulsi Gabbard is a liberal. Yeah. She's a liberal who just believes in mostly isolationism.
She's moderate on some things, but she definitely is a liberal.
I don't know. I've never seen what she's moderate on other than the war stuff.
Right.
Okay, thank you so much. Elon Musk win. HC will beat it, or jurors get sad. I she'll probably beat it just based on your congressional figure. She might get this one because claiming that she works for a foreign government, that is damaging to her, and damaging to her job and her career and her. But then you also, I mean, did anybody actually believe that? It turned into a huge joke, as far as I remember. One, Elon Musk won effing autocorrect. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just reading it as written.
Yep.
But I'm not sure that she can prove that she suffered anything from it. Her campaign was already dead. I know there's people out there who love her. I saw Yang on Real Time the other night. And I know there's people who love these guys, but they're not going to be president.
No.
If you're one of their hardcore supporters, you need to start drinking now for when the inevitable comes. Oh, dude, I saw on Real Time that clip with Andrew Yang. I saw it because Andrew Yang tweeted it out. And Bill Maher, about halfway through this interview, let me get the actual. I'll throw it in the chat for you guys. It's a video, and we're not going to watch it because I don't want to get shut down. But about halfway through this interview, is this the right one? There we go. Bill Maher floats the idea once again that he says, you know, Andrew, if you win, Donald Trump's not going to leave the White House. And then he reads off a whole bunch of people talking about how Donald Trump would never leave the White House. Never Donald himself. And one guy like the people will rise up in the streets and cause a war. Yeah, because that happened when Obama was elected, right?
Uh-huh.
That happened when Obama won his second term, right?
Right.
No, all of the horrible protests and breaking shit and throwing fits like a baby come when Republicans win.
What do they think he's going to do? Barricade himself in the White House with, with automatic weapons? And
somebody said this. They said, in order for that to happen, the military would have to be on Donald Trump's side there. And
right.
Bill Maher actually goes, well, he is the commander in chief. I'm like, oh, wow. You are that far gone, aren't you? Dear Lord. But then they get away from that just a little bit. You know, they try to bring it a little saner. And here's what they said. It's not necessarily a literal thing that he won't leave the White House. Yeah. He just won't go away. He'll still say things from the sidelines.
Well, boo-hoo.
So he's allowed to.
Yeah. Last I checked.
He's allowed to have opinions and share them. Now, it is traditional that the presidents keep their mouths closed about the next president. But that's been being laxed a little there, hasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Pincalo, thank you so much. Did you hear that David, is that Levitt or Levitt? I don't know. Did you hear that David Levitt, Toothbrush Boy, works at Marshall's and may not really be a journalist? One of the previous employees he harassed caught him working sales. Wild Smiles dropped an update this morning about it, and holy shit. Well, I knew he wasn't a journalist.
Right.
One, thank you for the donation. I knew he wasn't a journalist. If you actually look up what he's done, he's not. He's a Magic the Gathering player. And what people looked into, and from what I've heard, he's taken some pictures and maybe put them up on a stock photo site. And if his photo is used in somebody's article, he claims that as being part of the article, like he helped write it. Ex-Bubba Hotep, thank you so much. I'm sad that liberal has been bastardized. It used to mean you believed in freedom. We'll get to that in just a second. Thank you, Okie Native, who said, Trump will forever get to say when I was president. Yes, he will. But to your point here, Expo Hotep, you're not wrong about the word being bastardized, liberal. But here in America, the way we use those tends to be based just on politics rather than what liberal or conservative will really mean.
Right.
Because put a liberal amount of oil on that doesn't mean you're going to put a Green New Deal on it. Just means you're going to put a lot. Put a conservative amount, just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not exactly what it means in politics. So I get what you're saying. And I know there's people who used to yell at me, don't say liberal or don't say leftist. People get mad because that's what they call themselves. I'm like, look, man, that boat has sailed. Either you're still on it or you're not.
Yep.
That's like, so I'm a Sargon with his, what is it? Classical liberal. A classical liberal. Well, I don't know what it means in England. I got to be honest. I'm not as up on their politics, but over here, that's meaningless. It's really meaningless.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, over in the UK, from what I understand, it does. Liberal and conservative do mean slightly different things, or at least they understand them as different things. And they have so many parties over there that it's like divided up into little bitty pieces. You know, okay, well, you're a little left of center, so this is what you are.
Lee in chat says, liberal and conservative in the colloquial sense has nothing to do with political philosophy. I believe you there. I'm with you there. And Shroom says, I'm a constitutionalist. That's another one you got to be careful with. Are you part of the Constitutional Party? Because the people who are actually constitutionalists, there's a party out there, and they're not exactly sane from what I've seen. Now, I am a follower of the Constitution. I believe in the Constitution, which, by the way, for those of you, oh, you mean 3/5 of black people? No, I believe in the amendments as well, jackass, and the amendment process.
Yep.
I believe in our Constitution, and that's how we should be doing things. How did you feel about the donkey in Graveyard Keeper? I laughed, Jen, because it's been a while since I played that game, and it's certainly been. I was trying to think of how long it's been. It's definitely been over a year. Otherwise, I would have put the AOC connection together. Bloodwing, in the game Graveyard Keeper, there's a socialist donkey.
Oh.
I was like, oh my God.
Oh. Yeah, I seen that pop up, but that was a little late for me to watch.
Oh, look, I don't expect people to watch everything I do. I do a lot, man.
Yeah, well, I would love to, because my inclination is to stay up late, but you know, I've got responsibilities and I got to get up before it's even daylight to go get the granddaughters. So,
oh, sure.
Yeah.
John Miller says Sargon defined classical liberal as focusing on the individual. Yeah, I know. I saw what he said. But I can sit here and go, I'm the real Democrat. I believe in what they believed in the 60s. Well, unless you're talking about in the racist South, where they still were. It's meaningless. We know. I mean, when I say liberal, I have a feeling people know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
If I'm defining a politician as a liberal, I don't think there's too many people, at least in the Americas here, who aren't understanding what I'm talking about.
You wouldn't think.
But I do understand the people who are upset. Like, you know, that word didn't used to have a dirty connotation. And, well, welcome to the world. Oh, man. Oh, Chris Eliza pulled a muscle in his back getting out of bed this morning.
Uh-oh.
Do some sit-ups, you fat ass. Strengthen that core, motherfucker. There was other stuff I wanted to talk about, Blood, but everything, so many things are just coming at once. There's like no organization today at all. Sorry, guys. We are all over the place.
That's okay.
I'm a registered Republican only so I can vote in the primaries, but I was, oh, he cut that off. You know, I know people who do that with the Democratic Party. They register as Democrat because I don't know how many Republican ones, but I know a lot of Democrat primaries you can only vote if you are a Democrat. They have what's called a closed primary instead of an open primary.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people register as Democrats, so they have the choice to vote in that one. I don't know how many of them do it facetiously.
Yeah.
You know, whether they actually go in and it's like, I'm going to vote for Bernie because it'll be funny. It'll be funny. Oh, goodness. What else do we have here? I want to talk about this. We touched on it only very briefly last night during Fucketry. So, Bloodwing, did you keep up with the horrible, violent rally there in Virginia?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, it was kind of hard to miss. It was all over Twitter.
This horrible gun rally where there's going to be all kinds of violence. There was only one arrest for a woman who wouldn't take a scarf off her face.
Right.
Went off without a hitch. Nobody fired their guns, and there were guns everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this dude named Will Bunch, who works for the Philadelphia Inquirer. For the record, guys, that's not like the National Enquirer. This is actually the name of a paper there that's taken somewhat seriously.
Yeah.
He tweeted this out. It's outrageous that news organizations called the Richmond gun rally peaceful when it was actually an act of terrorism. With threats of violence to silence critics, keep them off the streets. All the way up to Trump, it's time to fight back against bullies. His column tells us that even though there was no violence, that's only because they had all those guns there.
Yeah.
See, if they didn't have those guns there, it would have been threatening, and then the other side would have come out, and then it would have been violent.
Yeah.
That seems like you're actually arguing for violence.
It does. Yeah.
Like they only stayed home because they had guns.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen people
saying if they would have.
I've seen people go a step further and say that it was to keep the people of color from reacting.
Oh, well, that's a whole nother one. Real quick. Kingslayer Damocles, thank you. The cops who arrested her were wearing face masks. She, as far as I know, if she'd have just shown her face real fast and then she could have covered right back. There were tons of people with their face covered.
Yeah.
A lot of them were wearing scarves because it was cold as fuck out there.
Yeah.
But you had to show your face. And as far as I know, those officers would have been identified by their badge numbers and stuff still.
Yeah.
I get what you're getting at, that you're suggesting it was kind of hypocritical, but it was what the rules were. But if that was the only arrest, literally, nobody else caused any problems. But this guy's argument seems to be that violence should have happened, and it's not fair because those people had a way to fight back.
Yeah, Faithless.
I really don't.
Faithless has a point there, admitting that the opposition are violent.
Exactly. There would have been violence if the other side came.
Yeah.
Like, well, thank you, Sir Wolfgang, who said you could say Antifa isn't keen to start violence. Here, everybody's strapped, right? I wonder if that was supposed to be when everybody's strapped. Thank you for the donation. That is very kind of you, sir. Of all of the dumbass arguments I saw, because I saw several of them. Oh, this is racist. This is David Hogg. I got to read his tweet again because holy shit, this little moron. Hang on, I got to get down to it. 17-year-old Trayvon Martin was shot on his way to get some Skittles. Yet there were thousands of white men able to march around openly carrying assault weapons on Capitol grounds. This is not about self-defense. It's about the enforcement of white supremacy. Couple of things.
Yeah, he should have been a gymnast there, because that was quite a lot of gymnastics to get from one to the other.
Yeah. First of all, Trayvon was not shot on his way to get some Skittles. He was shot on his way home.
Yep.
He already had the Skittles. Two, he wasn't shot just because he was walking around. Him and George Zimmerman, a non-white guy, got into a fight. And he was beating the shit out of George, who put a bullet in him. So stop pretending that he was just walking down the street and somebody shot him from a window or something.
Yep.
Trayvon, if he was legally allowed to carry a weapon, would have had one on him too. Yeah. And that wouldn't have been why he was shot. He was shot because he got into an argument with George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman, look, I don't know how people feel about George. I think George was looking to kill someone. I think George was desperate to actually get to use his weapon.
Yeah, and I kind of get that sense.
There's people out there like that. There are people looking for trouble. They go looking for it. George Zimmerman was advised, hey, dude, just let him go. Police are on their way. Which he didn't have to do. It was just an advisement. There's people, he was told to stay in. No, he was advised to stay in the car. He was found not guilty. And can we please stop pretending Trayvon is some martyr? Trayvon, if he had just answered, he could have just ignored George. He could have just kept walking.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, he got violent. He decided to do that. Zimmerman was part of Neighborhood Watch. Zimmerman was the Neighborhood Watch. Yeah. George Zimmerman is not a hero. He's an asshole. He was an asshole who was looking for trouble. And there's a kid walking down the street, and he should have left him the fuck alone. Neighborhood Watch, I don't know if you guys know this, they're not there to get involved. Neighborhood Watch is supposed to report to the police. Like, hey, we saw this. And he called the police in.
Yep.
You're not supposed to be out there gunslinging. Anyhow, Trayvon could have ignored. That's what I said. Yeah, he could have just kept walking. He didn't have to answer to fucking George Zimmerman. But David Hogg making this comparison here is just fucking retarded.
Yeah.
Fucking retarded. Yeah. What in the ever-loving fuck does Trayvon Martin have to do with a peaceful protest?
Absolutely zero. And if you're trying to make that point, Trayvon couldn't even carry a gun because he was 17, which means he couldn't get a license.
Trayvon wasn't a martyr and Zimmerman was an idiot. They were both in the wrong, but Zimmerman was more wrong, I guess. I can't say either was more wrong. It was a meeting of two morons that turned out with one of them dead.
Yep.
Trayvon could have just left Zimmerman alone completely. And instead, he ended up beating him, and he got shot for it. As for it being the enforcement of white supremacy, there was tons of black people there, guys.
Yeah, I seen pictures of people, not just blacks, of all different races there.
The Black Panthers were there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the greatest. When I saw that, I'm like, you know what? I don't like the Panthers, but that's awesome to see.
Yeah, and they're getting along with everybody because they had a common goal.
It's almost like, I'm just throwing this out there, these people were there to support the Second Amendment, not racist bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, and if you can get the Black Panthers to go on with that, then
Shroom says Martin jumped Zimmerman from behind as he was leaving. Yes, Zimmerman was in his car when he made the call, though. Zimmerman had to get out of his car. He should have just stayed in there and let the cops come. Again, I'm not saying he deserved to go to jail. The shot that he fired was absolutely justified, in my opinion. But this was a whole case of two morons escalating things that didn't have to.
Right.
And both of them are dumbasses, and one of them's a dead dumbass, unfortunately. I was going to talk about something else real fast. I forgot. I wanted to show you a picture that somebody tweeted to Hogg after he did this stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd it go? This one. It is a beautiful picture. I fucking love this shit. I especially love the shirt on the guy standing in the middle. If you guys can't tell what it says Black Guns Matter.
Yep. I've seen that.
And them boys is strapped, man.
Oh yeah.
That is just not some pissant 9mm they're carrying. Those boys got rifles on them. Those are assault weapons, you guys. Those is assault weapons. Oh, for fuck's sake. Over on the Streamlabs. Come up. There we go. Thank you, Expo Hotep. But black teenagers found with a gun in a state that you have to be 21 to own and carry a handgun are being arrested. So racism or something. Yeah, I suppose we should get to that stupid ass tweet too.
Yeah.
This one, it came from a lawyer. It came from a fucking lawyer.
I know. I saw it.
Where is it? Not that one. That was Northam being a douchebag. This one. Scott Hechinger. I'm not sure you pronounce that. In New York, black teenagers face a mandatory minimum of 3.5 years and maximum of 15 years in prison for simple possession of a firearm. Meanwhile, in Virginia, parades of white people in ski masks carrying assault weapons walk menacingly down the street on MLK Day, and all is normal. Okay. Wow. We read the one yesterday, I think it was, on the show, the day before, of the chick who started female gun group, the female anti-gun group. Shannon Watts.
Yeah.
She started Moms Demand Action. That's what it is. She tweeted this out. Sunglasses and face masks for armed insurrectionists who have been threatening and doxing me and Moms Demand volunteers for weeks. Why are they scared to show their face? Now, I'm bringing this up because, one, that person was talking about them being armed. And yeah, anyway, I want to show you this. I don't know if you guys can see it. There are 6 people right here that you can clearly see. This one's face is uncovered. This one's face is uncovered. This one's face is uncovered. And this one's face is uncovered. This one is wearing a goddamn scarf. And that one, I don't know what they're wearing. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt and say it's just some random face covering. That would be 1 out of 6 people just wearing a random face covering, where the other, you got one who's trying to stay warm, and the others actually have their face uncovered.
Mm-hmm.
But look at them menacingly walking around with their face covered, blood.
Oh my god.
It was fucking cold. And you know what came of all of this horrible stuff of these guys walking around with their face covered in guns?
Nothing.
Nothing. It was, but to that guy's point where he says, black teens, they get arrested. Oh, real quick. Wait, where'd that go? Oh, this is one that YouTube's not going to show me. I got to catch it over here. Cryptic, thank you so much. MDA must be crusty and needs sex. What? I don't know what that, and needed sex. Must be crusty and needed sex. And why did this switch back to Top Chat? YouTube, fix yo shit.
Oh, I hate that.
Keep in mind, it's January in Virginia. Yeah. These guys were cold, and there were a lot of them who had face coverings on.
Yeah.
And if you look, they're scarves, you stupid shits. What? That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. There was something that came of it yesterday or Monday, a much clearer area where the protest was held. Oh, Moms Demand Action, MDA. Thank you, Cryptic. Moms Demand Action. Must be crusty and needed sex. There are a bunch of women who are just whining because guns exist. But so this guy, he tells us black teenagers in New York, minimum of 3.5 years in jail, maximum of 15, just for having a gun.
Mm-hmm.
That's not untrue. It's a little bit deceptive though.
Yeah,
because it's not just black people. It's any teenager. Any.
Yep.
Oh, but not with this guy. Now this no. It's them black kids, you guys. They're going after the blackies. No, they're not. If you're having a problem where it's turning out to be more of one color than the other, that might be a problem in the neighborhood. And then, of course, AOC compared the Freddie Gray riots and the Eric Garner riots to what happened in Virginia. Like, well, why don't they have more? There were police in riot gear at these riots.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah. That's what it's for. They didn't have the police all out in riot gear because it turned out they didn't need them. They were on standby.
Oh, I'm sure
the governor had been talking about bringing the National Guard in if necessary. Luckily, it wasn't necessary, but I mean, they were preparing for the worst just because they didn't have to bring it out. It's not because something special happened. It's because these people were there to protest the law, the very bad laws that are coming into being there in the fucking Virginia colony, in the Commonwealth of Virginia, as it's called.
Yep.
I only know it's a Commonwealth that they call it the Commonwealth because I lived there so long.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Commonwealth. Yeah, they still call it that. I'm like, no, you're the state of Virginia. Stop it.
Yeah. Kentucky's the same way. It's a Commonwealth. Yeah.
Yes, Bubba, there is a difference between New York laws and Virginia laws. So this guy being pissed off about the New York law, even though he is absolutely wrong about it just being black kids.
Yeah.
He should take that up with New York. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand his point. I mean, he's given one example of kids breaking the law and the other example of people following the law and being peaceful and law abiding to make his point. Doesn't make sense to me, but hey, you do you.
Dog just messaged me. I'll probably be going for another half hour or so.
Yeah.
Like I said, I do want to spend time with the woman today. Virginia is a Commonwealth. It's a state. It's literally a state. Did you cover the one dude who got called out for being a plant? There was the one guy who started. I still haven't seen it. I've only heard people talk about it. That's why I haven't addressed it. But I will tell you what I've heard. There was one guy who started yelling that, hey, let's go cause some shit. I don't remember what he said or what I've heard he said. And everybody's like, go fuck yourself. And they shut him down real quick.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the video myself. So if anybody has a short video of that, let me know.
Yeah, I saw the video on Twitter, but I didn't have sound on at the time. I was just cruising through. So
I'm tired of them trying to make everything about it. Didn't work out. It didn't work out, guys. The horrible things that were supposed to happen didn't work out. So, it's got to be racist. And that hasn't worked out because there were people of color, there were colored people all through there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to call it like they wish they could. So you had the colored people there. So now, even though it wasn't violent blood, it was violent anyway because it was terrorism. It kept the other violent people away. That's that one guy's argument.
Yeah.
It's literally his argument. You can't say it wasn't violent because the people who would have come in there and actually caused violence, they were too scared to. Like, do you even listen to what you fucking say?
Over the last couple of years, the word violent and violence and so forth, it's just lost so much meaning because, words are violence too. So,
also saw signs of like gays for 2A. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot. The Democrats get this wrong all the time. They think that gun rights is a right-wing issue. It's not. It's not. Cirque said he sent the clip. Oh, it's kind of long, so let's
Yeah, I know plenty of left-leaning people that own guns. Sophane, who can get as left as you get sometimes, is a gun owner. So
Before we play this, thank you, Nuts, for dropping our links. Don't forget, guys, we're brought to you by you. If you can support the show, please do so. There's several ways you can do it. You can hit like. You can share if you're not too embarrassed by us. And you can toss money at me and Blood here. Please throw money at Blood. The people who come on this show are very generous of their time, and I can't pay them. So if you have some money and you enjoy what you see, throw some at old Bloodwing there. And me if you can, of course.
Nuts is the best.
She is a sweetheart. She really is. All right. This is a minute long, guys. I haven't seen it yet. So YouTube, if it's bad, I apologize. Here we go.
You want to start the revolution today? Heck yeah. You want to hop those fences and kill that guy? Oh, yeah. He's stirring stuff up. What did you say? Why would you say something? If you're making a speech about people rising up, don't like that.
Are you conservative?
I'm libertarian.
You're libertarian? Okay.
No, he's not. Fuck you.
And that is how we are.
That is,
Tell me
yeah.
what you think about what this guy's doing.
I think what that guy just said was absurd. We don't believe in going and killing people. This is a peaceful rally. We're here to stand with the people. I agree, sir. I'm here peacefully.
You just said to go kill people.
And that's exactly what the left trying to call him out on what he was trying to stir up. No, I'm not trying to stir up anything. You did.
Okay, I'm not going to watch the rest of that. So somebody says that we need a revolution. We need to change the way things are. And this guy goes, let's go kill people. And they're like, no, that's not what we meant. That's not what we meant. There's ways to change things without killing people, lefties. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
I don't think they do. They think everything needs to be violent.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was so much being made that this was held on MLK Day. And, okay, Dr. King got a lot done and never resorted to violence.
Yeah. It was actually a perfect day for it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Sinatra says that's not Antifa, that's a Fed. I've heard the theory he's a Fed. I don't think he's Antifa. He's got his face uncovered.
Yeah.
As for him being a Fed, I don't know. He looks rather young. I mean, if he is, he's one of their narcs. You know what I mean? That's a really, really young dude. Don't you just love CIA plans trying to cause violence? Yeah. He smells more of a Fed than Richard Spencer. Damn you, Sin. Sin, you want to hang out for the rest of the show? I don't know what you're up to. I know it's past the time you should be doing all your stuffs. He's got responsibilities. What is it with you guys and responsibilities? I'm old. My responsibility is to feed myself and use the bathroom.
Yeah, I only have a few responsibilities to do what I want to and spoil my grandkids. That's it.
Jay Wolf asked, wasn't MLK Jr. a gun owner? And I'm being told he was. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know that much about whether or not he was. But the idea, I saw so many. They're doing this on MLK Day. These white supremacists. Shit, there's black people there.
And I've seen some Asians and others too,
I saw Zuby. Do you know who Zuby is?
Yeah.
Zuby made some post yesterday and he was basically called an Uncle Tom for it. And this guy actually says all through history, there have been people of color who ally with white supremacists. Like, and it was just because he was talking about what he was talking about all those girls who got raped in England. For those of you who aren't aware, there was a huge scandal over there where little girls were being raped for decades, and law enforcement just looked the other way because the perpetrators were of Asian descent. I'm winking really hard when I say Asian. And they ignored it until it finally came out in a media article, and they're like, "Oh, we should probably look into this shit." And Zuby just made a post about how fucked up it was that it took them so long to do it. And somebody comes up, Zuby doesn't care about black girls getting raped. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? He ain't say shit.
Uh-uh.
He didn't say, oh, it's okay to rape black girls. He was talking about a specific fucking incident. And they're like, no, look, man, all through history, there's been white supremacists who've stood up for, or black people who stood up for white supremacists. Like, you guys are fucking retarded. You know what? Blood, I love my Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody who watches me knows I love my Twitter.
Yes.
The stupid I encountered in the last 24 hours. It's almost as much as I can take. I'm almost at a point where I need a break from it for a day or two.
I'm already there. I already did. My Twitter has been so stupid the last 2 to 3 days that nope. I'll peek at it and then I'm done.
Well, the biggest problem was those idiots on the impeachment debate. Oh my God, they lost their shit over what I said. It was just fucking amazing. And none of them know what they're talking about. None of them. They have no clue. Cryptic, thank you. If they're Asian, I'm a 6-foot black man in the NBA. Well, thank you for the donation. But technically, they're from the Asian continent.
Mm-hmm.
So they get called Asian so that they can avoid saying Muslim. See, apparently in England, Asian rape gang sounds better than Muslim rape gang. I'm not sure why, but yeah, they're Asian. They're Asian. When I saw them described as Asian, I'm like, wait, are we talking about the right story? And Bear had to go, yeah, that's how they're describing it. I'm like, oh, well. No, these people arguing with me on the impeachment thing, they literally have no idea how it works, what happens, what's happened in the past. I saw sorry, I forget his name. The black impeachment manager yesterday got a potato-shaped head, really short hair. I don't know his name. But he was talking about all the other impeachments that have happened. One, he didn't just bring up the presidential impeachments.
Uh-huh.
He brought up judges that have been impeached too. So I think the total, what is it, like 13, something like that, have been impeached?
Yeah, impeachment's been much more successful on that level than
and he's talking about, look, in the Senate, they've always had witnesses. But like if you take the Bill Clinton one, there were 3 witnesses called in the Senate. All of them were heard behind closed doors.
Mm-hmm.
That was not open testimony. They released partial transcripts of the testimony to the public and to the trial itself. And all of those people had already been interviewed. They'd been interviewed by Ken Starr.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the information came from. This is the first case we have where they're like, we didn't get any information from these people, but we need to have more information from these people. You don't go to trial it that way.
Nope.
Sorry.
No. I mean, and by and large, an impeachment process is no different than any other trial. It has the same rules and so forth. I've been on a jury in a major murder trial before.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, you don't show up without having all your I's dotted and T's crossed. You don't wait till the trial is started to get ready.
So Elizabeth Warren put out her tweet, and I just responded, the House should have had all of that before impeaching, because she said we need to hear from this stuff and get these people. And this woman responded that they were blocked by the White House. Please try to pay attention. I'm like, oh my God. This has happened so many times. Do you know what happened in Fast and Furious? In Fast and Furious, our Attorney General, Eric Holder, flat refused to give any information to Congress. I'm not giving you any of that. Do you know how many Democrats stood up and said, hey, we need this information. It's vital. I'll let you think for a second. How many Democrats do you think stood up to Obama's Attorney General saying they wouldn't give them any papers?
Yep.
If you guess 0, you're right.
Yeah.
because they didn't care. They didn't care then, and they don't really care now. The only reason they care now is because it's Donald fucking Trump.
Yep. Well, historically, the impeachment process, as far as a sitting president goes, has always been used to just muddy the waters. Even all the way back in Johnson's case, and don't get me wrong, Johnson was a butthole. He was a racist butthole.
Look, yeah, he was, but his impeachment was bullshit.
Yes, it was. They made up a rule. Get this, people in chat. They made up a rule to try to get him on that said he could not fire his staff.
Yeah, they impeached him on a rule that was ruled unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Now the Clinton one, that's a little more cut and dry. I mean, he did lie to a grand jury, although that article of impeachment didn't make it to the Senate trial. It was voted down.
Yeah.
Huh.
And Nixon, let's be honest, I know he was not impeached, but he would have been had he not quit, and he would have been found guilty. There's no question in anyone's mind. But
indeed, absolutely, he would have been impeached. The Senate got with him. The Senate leaders are like, look, we're going to vote you guilty.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck it, okay, I'm done.
Yep.
Do I know what started a law taking the rights of others who didn't commit crimes because of those who did? No, I don't. Thank you, Teresa the Kid, for the for the smiley face with the dollar signs in the eyes. I appreciate that. That's very kind.
Absolutely.
And Becca says, if any of the attorneys I work for presented a case like this, the judge would laugh and dismiss the case. Yeah, they should, actually.
Yeah.
If your case is, we need more evidence, you're going to lose. And see, that's the part they know. We'll get to that in a second. Expo Hotep, thank you. Since Jack isn't here, you were spewing a lot of hate facts right now, and that really goes against the narrative. I know. Me and my damn hate facts. And I know we talked impeachment at the beginning, but some people weren't here, and I want to get back to this because this is really annoying me. Because we're about to hear this for another 12 fucking hours. 12 fucking hours of the impeachment managers, which, by the way, that's the prosecution in a impeachment trial. 12 hours of them saying, we need more evidence. That's not how you do things. You don't go into the Senate and go, yeah, we need more evidence. Now, like when Monica Lewinsky testified against Clinton, they just wanted her statements on the record in the congressional record because she had been interviewed by Ken Starr.
Yeah.
None of these people have been interviewed even. Mulvaney hasn't been interviewed, not in a way that's part of any record, not in any way that they know or that they could use in this, or they'd stop fucking whining about it.
Real quick, thanks, Teresa the Kid sent me something on Streamlabs. I wasn't able to donate when you had a fridge needs, but I will now. I'm dealing with a wonky fridge right now. Sorry to hear that because that sucks.
Oh, I sent one to Stream. Oh, you sent the one to his Streamlabs. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just missed that. And thank you for the donations, Teresa. That's very kind of you. So she said that's the first one she's ever sent.
Yeah. Well, I'm honored.
I watch this stuff, Blood. I love politics.
Yeah, I know you do.
I don't even hate like impeachment stuff like this because they've tried to impeach a lot of presidents.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's just always failed, except for in the 3 cases we know or that we talk about.
Yeah, they've only actually been impeached 3 times. But if you look at the list of presidents that have been threatened with impeachment, it's pretty freaking long.
And there's quite a few who've had impeachment inquiries in the House that get voted down. It is a inherently political process. That's what happened to Johnson.
Yeah.
It's the fact that this is political. I would say the same about Clinton because this only came about because of the Starr investigation, which went on way too long.
Yeah.
And I don't consider the president lying about getting a blowjob to be worthy of it. I don't mind impeachment there. I wish they would have just censured him. But okay, impeach and then acquit in the in the Senate. All right, that's a way to go, because he absolutely did. He broke a law, and it is a fundamental law of our legal process. Telling the truth when you are under oath is imperative to our process working. And this was the commander in chief, the top executive in our country who lied, fucking lied.
Mm-hmm.
And while I understand why he might lie, he still did it. And that doesn't, me understanding it doesn't excuse it. That's why I say he should be found guilty, but he definitely deserves some admonishment for it.
Right.
And in this case, I mean, we're talking about a president who literally, before he was even elected, because a lot of people say, oh, when he was president, no, it goes further back than that. And I was finally so happy to see it in the House. They finally brought it up. It was like April of 2016. So before the election ever happened, you had people starting to talk about impeaching Donald Trump before he was ever fucking elected.
Yep.
And then they just kept pushing for impeachment. And then the House is taken over by the Democrats and like, we're going to impeach. For what? We'll find something. And this is what they found. This is what they found. The president twisting the arm of a foreign leader to look into possible corruption.
Yeah. Yep.
The folks who've been bitching for 3 years about Russian interference in our election and corruption therein, bitching because they were going to look into, they wanted them to look into corruption. The Biden campaign came out the other day. I don't know if you saw this, Bloodwing. And they told the media that with this trial going on and the president's lawyers are going to be bringing up some stuff, well, the press needs to make sure that every time Biden is brought up, that if they're reporting on what Biden might have done, that they need to make sure they include that this has been debunked. Like, one, they already do that. They already carry the water for you, Joe. No need to say it.
Right.
But two, this is a candidate telling the press how to cover him.
Right.
And everybody's like, yes, that makes sense to me. What the fuck are you talking about? Not just corruption, international RICO crimes by a sitting VP. Yeah, they like to pretend that part didn't happen. Whether or not Joe Biden wanted that prosecutor fired because he was looking into Burisma, where his son worked, all true. He still strong-armed this guy to do something for them. For money. Right. For money that had been approved. He had no leeway. He had no authority even. He didn't even have the authority to make this threat. That's why when he tells the story, he tells you, the president said, you don't have the authority. That has to come from the president of the United States. And Biden says, well, I'll call him. He didn't even have the authority to make the fucking threat, and he's bragging about doing so.
Yep.
But hey, don't let that help. Don't let that get out. Shh, just let it happen. Now, there was something funny in the Cruz video I saw, the Cruz interview. He was talking about, if they go down the witness path, because what they're going to do is they're not going to do like the House. They're not just going to call witnesses that they like. What they'll do is they'll let the House managers have a couple, but if they get 2, then the president's lawyers get 2. And he said, so if that happens, you will see Hunter Biden and Joe Biden up there testifying. Sorry to derail the conversation, but I wanted to report that I don't have heart disease. The chemotherapy I've been going through has not affected my heart, as was feared by my oncologist. Moonshock, that is wonderful to hear, man. That is fucking awesome, dude. That's the kind of news, if I was in person right now, I'd give you a big old fucking hug, man.
Yep. And I don't do hugs, but I would.
Yeah. I'm not a hug kind of guy, but there are certain things that happen. You can give a bro hug for. That's awesome, dude. Also, Joe Biden, no one is talking about this. Yeah, that's the other thing. They when this all came up, this has pretty much been buried, but I think it was it was either NBC or ABC. I can't remember which. But back in April of last year, they were all over this Biden thing. And then they just kind of let it drop because, Biden told them to. So when they talk about this is just a conspiracy theory from Rudy Giuliani, is it? Is it really? Because there's actual fucking news footage of this shit. It's still out there. Yeah, it's fucking retarded. But the people that I'm arguing with, Bud, they don't know any of this shit. They don't know any of this shit. They all they do is sit there and repeat what they hear Nancy Pelosi saying, what they hear the people at CNN saying.
Yeah. People have, just so many people anyway, have forgotten how to think for themselves.
I don't think they want to, and it's been this way for a long time.
Yeah.
It really has. And yeah, it goes both ways. I'm not even going to pretend it doesn't.
Well, sure it does.
I've had to argue with people on my side and go, no, you're wrong about that. Please stop saying stupid shit. You're making us look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting to me, man. It's getting to me. I might need to take a day off because fuck. How can you be that dumb and so proud to announce it to the world?
Stupidity seems to have become a badge of honor.
Yeah.
It's just like a couple of weeks ago, I seen somebody retweet a series of tweets, and these people were going off about, yay, Trump's been impeached. He's not president anymore. No, you moron. It just means he goes to trial.
Yeah, there was a ton of those kind of people. They're like, he's been impeached. He's gone. Like, That's not how. Why don't you know how your government works? And if you don't, why the fuck are you talking?
Well, do they even teach government in school anymore? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been to school. So
it's I think it's like a much what's the word I'm looking for? Toned down version.
Yeah. Dumbed down.
Yeah. It's made so that well, we were talking about this with the Common Core the other day. Common Core math, I understand what they're doing with it.
Oh God, I hate that stuff.
Oh, so do I.
I hate it.
But one of the biggest selling points of the like where you have to use the little boxes, make little boxes, is that it's too hard for kids to memorize multiplication tables.
Oh, please.
It's too hard to learn to just do it in your head. I'm like, no, that's how it's been done for generations. And somebody's just like, I hate multiplication tables. I'm going to change everything because kids are too stupid to learn. If you treat kids like they're stupid, you'll get stupid kids.
Look, like I mentioned before, math and I do not get along. I am not a math person. If I didn't have a calculator, I'd be totally screwed. And this is a guy that makes a living as a cashier in a smoke shop. I had multiplication tables memorized by the time I was in third grade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on.
Well, the idea that kids are stupid is not new. And look, kids are stupid. We have to educate them.
Yeah.
But kids tend to rise to the level you want them to be, rise to what you expect. And yes, some people are not going to make it. Some people, look, when it comes to spelling, I fucking suck, dude. It doesn't matter how much they expected of me. I couldn't do it very well. Yeah. I did my best. But there's things that, some kids just aren't going to get. But you don't educate based on the lowest. You don't educate based on the least educatable child.
Yeah. When my grandkids were still living here, I would, because their mom worked most of the day and I had them, I would try to help them with their homework. And man, I'd come across that Common Core math and I was just totally lost. I'm like, this makes no freaking sense. And then there was the situation where my oldest grandson was trying to learn, they were trying to teach him how to multiply fractions. And they were doing it the Common Core way. And I'm like, this. So against the teacher's wishes, I taught him the old way, the way I learned to do it. And he got it. He couldn't get it the Common Core way, but when I taught him the old way, he's like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I got this."
Well, the first time I ran into it, I was helping my daughter with her math, and she showed me the problem, and I did it out. She goes, "No, no, no, that's not how we do it." What? The main author of Common Core said his daughter struggled with math, and he wanted to change the whole way of doing math just for her. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
And my kid's stupid. Everybody has to change. Yeah, my daughter showed me how they do it, and I understand it. But it is ridiculously complicated.
Oh,
ridiculously complicated.
Way too many steps.
Yeah, I mean, she was doing a division problem, and I don't remember the exact problem, but let's say it's 720 divided by 8. Okay, just which is the first number 8 can go into fully? It'll be 72.
Yeah.
It goes in 9 times. Drop that down. That gives you a 0. You just drop the other 0 down. So you put the 0 up top. It's 90. There you go. Easy. Nope. You need boxes. I'm like, why the fuck do we need boxes? There's no reason for that. Oh, yeah. It's as if an English teacher designed a math class. Well, I'm not opposed to finding new ways to teach things.
Right.
And you use that for the people who don't understand it the way everyone else does.
Yeah.
His daughter was an idiot, so he taught her a different way. That's fine. She learned how to do it.
Yeah. And with my grandkids, their math teacher didn't want us teaching them. They were adamant. No, don't teach them the old way. No. We want them to learn this way. Well, they're not learning it because it's too freaking complicated.
Badger showed me a picture of a math problem with an answer with 2 answers underneath it.
Yep, I've seen that.
And it said the old way, and the answer was 1. And it said Common Core, the answer is 16. And it said both answers are correct. This about made me blow a blood vessel in my brain because math cannot have 2 different answers. One math problem can't have 2 different answers. One of them is wrong. It's not a matter of how you did the problem. One of them is wrong.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm not a math whiz, but the last time I checked, mathematics is pretty much absolute. There's the answer and there's not the answer.
Snub asked if I saw the Tulsi lawsuit. I haven't read it. I saw the story about it. We talked about it just briefly. It's no wonder the Chinese aren't good at engineering. What did I miss there? It's like Chinese culture, copy culture. The one that is the most popular must be right. No, there's those. We talked about this as well. The little Asian kids who can count on just their fingers. Have you seen these guys?
I have a grandson that can do that. So yeah, I've seen it. Yes.
That's awesome. I want to learn how to do it. I haven't seen anything that teaches it.
Don't know how he does it. You'll give him a math problem and he'll stop for a second and he's tapping his fingers with his thumb and then he gives you the answer. I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, that would be interesting. Cirque says, Ranting Monkey, that's why I say Common Core math makes bridges fall down. Well, somebody mentioned earlier that they don't want to make kids do anything they don't want to, and that's part of it. But do you remember, I don't know if you paid attention to this, Blood, but there was a time, and this, you guys can look this up. There were people arguing in California that on math problems, people should get half credit if they write the problem right, even if they get the answer wrong. Like, no. You should get 0 credit for that because you did it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck do you write a problem correctly and get it wrong?
Yeah. No, and someone asked where they could. Who I've lost track of who. Oh, Anthony Vogel wanted to know where he could find this Common Core math and need to see it. Just do a Google search on it, and you'll get tons of hits, and you won't believe your eyes. Trust me.
Yeah. It can have 2 answers. Y equals X. I can't see what that is. I need my glasses. 2 minus 2. Well, you have an open-ended question there. You need to know what the X is to get the answer to Y, or know what Y is to get the answer to X.
Yeah.
You need more information. This was in the filing, Monkey. Tulsi Gabbard is running for president of the U.S., a position Clinton has long coveted but has not been able to obtain. Fuck.
Hey, Weebs.
Hey, Weebo, how you doing, sweetheart? Did you get some sleep? Are you back on normal time?
Oh, that's right. She took a Europe trip, didn't she?
Yeah, she was over in the Francie land.
Yeah.
Let's see. What else do we have going on in the world today? Because I'm going to be wrapping up here shortly. I'm actually we're 2:06, so we're almost done.
Happy birthday, Dr. No.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Mm-hmm.
Happy birthday, dear Dr. No. Happy birthday to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. I hope you have a great one. 25 is a good age, man.
I think I remember 25. I'm not
I don't
sure.
remember fuck all about 25. I was working and trying to help raise the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you make mistakes like using the wrong number, you use the correct process but get the wrong answer, gets you partial marks. You shouldn't get anything for that because you still got the wrong damn answer. I'm grabbing some beer and brats. It's 10:30 in the morning.
Well, she is. Isn't she still in college?
I'm not opposed to the beer. I'm not a beer drinker, but brats at 10:30? What are you, me?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, it's your son's birthday nuts?
Yeah. Well, happy
What's
birthday.
your what? Give me a name. Oh, Weeb says it's for dinner. Okay, well, look, you didn't stress that. Partial marks are for understanding the process. If you got the wrong answer, I feel like you didn't understand the process.
Yeah.
I mean, I get what you guys are saying, and I've heard these arguments. It's like, well, they knew how to do it. Did they? Because if they knew how to do it, they would have got the right answer. Like, okay, I know what numbers to write in here. I just don't know how to solve the damn thing. Then you lose. You don't get that point. But if I wanted beer and brats for lunch on a Wednesday, what's wrong with that? It's not lunchtime yet. Adam, but you don't have to sing. I will hit you up on Lords of the Night. How dare you? How dare you? Tell me I don't have to sing. Did you hear that?
I heard it.
You can hit me up on Lords of the Night as well, but how dare you? Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Happy birthday to you.
To you.
Happy birthday, dear Adam.
Have a good day, Adam.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Adam. I hope you have a good one. And your mom told me I didn't have to sing. How dare she?
Yeah.
How dare she? Let's see. My math teacher always lectured us. You won't be walking around with calculators in your pocket. You know, Becca, my mom used to do that. She wouldn't let us use calculators.
Yep.
When I went in for my ACT test, I didn't bring a calculator with me. And the lady at the door, I had nothing with me. Mm-hmm. The lady at the door was like, don't you want a calculator? I'm like, nope. And I did quite well because, mom insisted. If mom were alive today, I would be laughing at her daily over that. Be like, look, mom, look at my phone.
Yeah.
I don't even have to do the problem myself. I can go to Google and ask.
Of course, I grew up in a time and went to school when calculators, today you can buy them for what, $5 at the grocery store checkout, in my day, calculators were just coming about and sometimes they cost nearly $100. No lie. So, yeah.
I've gotten an answer wrong because the number looked like an 8 when it was a 7, or sometimes you just miscount even though you wrote one thing. Look, I've gotten wrong. I've done the process right and wrote the wrong answer down and didn't get credit for it. And the teacher was right for that.
Yeah.
And if it's something like where you can't tell what the number is, if you wrote it, that's your fault. If it was written by the teacher, you just raise your hand and ask, like, what number is this? Slide ruler for the win. No, I remember mom. Yeah. What mom's big thing, it wasn't that you wouldn't always have a calculator, was what if calculators go away? She was really worried about like an Amish apocalypse. Like something was going to happen and we would all be Amish again. And I apparently I would have needed math really bad at that time, maybe for raising a barn or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she wouldn't let any of us use calculators. We weren't even allowed to take them to school with us. There was one class, Algebra 2? Maybe it was algebra. I can't remember. One of the classes demanded that you use a calculator, and we were allowed to take it for that. But all other math, yeah, we had to do on paper or in our head. I was really good at geometry and trig. Fuck, I didn't even pay attention in geometry, and I got an A in that class. The only class that ever gave me trouble with math was algebra. And I told this story just the other day, but it was when I realized that algebra is just math made hard that it finally made sense to me.
You're not wrong.
It's like, oh, this is a story problem in number form. I get it. No big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took me a while to put that together. And once I did, yeah, I had no problem.
I never even got to geometry because it took me till my sophomore year in high school to even pass algebra. That's how bad I was at math.
There was a little Asian girl in my algebra, because by the time I got to algebra 2, mom had died. Dad was a drunk, and I was basically on my own. So I skipped school most of the time. But somehow I always ended up at school on test day for algebra, algebra 2. And I aced every test I took. I still failed the class because I wasn't there enough.
Yeah.
But the little Asian girl who sat in front of me got so mad because she studied so hard and I'd always beat her. And yeah, she used to cuss me out, man.
The only reason I passed sophomore algebra was because by accident, the teacher gave me a teacher's book. Didn't know it. And I didn't tell him because, the teacher's book had the answers in them.
The prominence of trigonometry and calculus in a post-apocalyptic world is real, monkey. In a post-apocalyptic Amish world? How much do the Amish actually use calculus? I feel like not very often.
I don't know. I'm sure they have to use basic math. They're famous for raising barns and stuff. But
yeah, you need some geometry there.
Yeah,
you need some basic math, which geometry is too, as long as you know what your what are they called? Equations or whatever the fuck they are that you have to know for that. Blood, I passed that class with an A, but I've long since forgot anything I learned in there.
Oh, good.
You know why? I don't build shit.
Yeah, I don't either.
Raising barns is serious business. Around here it is, man. There's lots of Amish up this way.
Yeah.
You guys do realize there's warmer states, right?
Yeah. There's pretty sizable Amish and Mennonite communities near here.
Ex-Bubba Hotep, thank you over on the Streamlabs. Story time. In my calculus class exam, there were 5 questions. We had 2 hours. No one finished. We actually had a fire drill in the middle of it. Not a soul moved. Nice. Yeah, math has always just come easy to me, so I haven't had much of a problem with it. But I get that it's hard for people. My younger brother struggled with math. My older brother wasn't as good as I am, but he had problems too, but he was okay. But it's always just come very easy to me. So I get that people struggle, and I'm not opposed to trying new things like Common Core. But once you look at Common Core, you're just like, yeah, that's stupid. We need to just throw that in the trash and start over.
Yep.
Throw that in the trash. We'll go back to what we were doing. It was working for most people. And yeah. You found the bean. What do you need beans for, Weevo? I feel like she's all over the place with that.
Mm-hmm.
I love math. Well, when I used to work at the machine shop, I had a lot of time to myself, Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Really fucking loud in there.
Right.
And most of the time I worked there were only 2 of us who worked on shift because we worked the overnight shift and not many people wanted to do that. And he was on the whole other side of the shop. So I had a lot of time to myself. And part of the time I would do algebra problems in my head. I like math. Math makes sense. Math is logical. That's why I like math, Blood. It's logical. The answer is the answer, period. It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter how your day went. 2 plus 2 is always 4, period. There's no debate about it. It says beans, but there's only what the fuck are you doing, lady? oh, she's shopping. I used to know where Walmart kept the beans. What's happening? Canned beans. You're looking for a different kind of bean, sweetheart. Go to the vegetable aisle. You want to go to the vegetable aisle. There are 4 lights. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's why I always like math. It's because there is an answer, period. When it comes to history, it depends on who's telling the history. There is a history and there is a right history, but we're in a lot of cases, we're so far removed from it. All we know is what other people tell us happened. And even in those cases, even if you have the best historical scholar there is, he could have missed something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Science, we're still learning science. That's why most of science is still considered theory.
Yep.
Gravity is a fucking theory. We think we know how it works. We're pretty sure we know how it works, but something could happen tomorrow that changes everything we knew. And while it uses math in a lot of its application, it's still theory for a lot of it. What kind of baked beans should I get? The good ones. What else? English. I love English. Mm-hmm. And I hate our language for the same reason that I love math, is because for every rule there is in English, there's a way to break it.
Yep.
I before E, unless it's weird. Like, well, why is weird different? Somebody explain that to me. So yeah, for me, it's just that math was so logical.
Weebs, if you get 3 pounds of beans just for you, you're going to be eating beans for a long time.
3 pounds of beans? Dear God, woman. John Miller says, Monkey, you and I have that in common. Yeah, I mean, I'm a student of logic. I might not always be logical. I'm not, I'm not a fucking Vulcan, but logic appeals to me. Had a math major roommate that would remind me repeatedly that math you are talking about is arithmetic, and math usually doesn't have numbers. Oh God, Jake, I've had that argument. Yeah, I know. It's me for the you're gonna eat beans for a week?
Your poor roommates.
Sweetheart, I'm glad I only talked to you on screen. It's weird because it is weird. Harbos, that's not an answer. Beans, brats, and beer. Oh my God. You're going to smell like an old fat dude.
I might recommend that you wear Depends for the next week.
You're going to eat beans, brats, and beer. Oh God. Yeah. Sweetheart, enjoy it because it's tasty, except for the beer. I'm not a beer drinker, but I approve of your foods, but you might want to get some of that rice, or, buy a can of vegetables. What the fuck? You making a scat film? Well played. Well played. All right. What time we got? Yeah, we're about 2:20 in. We're going to go ahead and call it here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. I don't know if I'll be around anytime later today. I have to go do some stuff, and I don't know what time the kids are coming over, but I may or may not be around later. As always, watch Twitter.
Yep.
Because YouTube doesn't like to tell you guys when we do stuff. Thank you so very much for the donations. It is humbling that you guys think enough of me to do that, and I love you.
Absolutely.
Blood, anything you want to show?
Tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern time, there'll be another episode of my live stream, Redneck Radio. Check that out. And this Sunday at 5:30 Eastern time, I'll be premiering episode 25 of Redneck Track. So, yeah.
We've asked spicy brown or regular mustard. I'm a fan of regular, but it depends on what you like, sweetheart.
Yeah.
Tonight, we're going to be on my channel for Lords of the Night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And if I don't game sometime during the day, I will probably be playing some more Graveyard Keeper right after that over on Ranting Monkey Games. That's my gaming channel. New series I've started because I finished Red Dead 2. That series is still up. You should watch it. There's like, let's see, 21, 22 episodes, and most of them are at least 2 hour long. So if you're bored someday, just throw that on and watch the whole thing.
Sure.
And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I was at 925. I'm getting close to that 1,000.
Yep.
Getting close to that 1,000 so that Susan can tell me, no, I won't be monetized because I say fuck too much. I got to stop saying fuck. Fuck it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming and hanging out. Bloodwing, a pleasure as always. It's nice to talk to you again, bud.
You too, buddy.
Everybody, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
This is my